What I'm on now is the Hormonal Coil. Getting that was an issue because of COVID. So because lots of services closed during COVID, there was a backlog of appointments for coil fittings, not just fittings, but also refittings. So people whose coil is kind of like needs to be changed over to a new one. There was a big backlog and delay of that. So waiting list for me to get the coil at my GP was about 6 months, possibly even longer. So what I ended up doing was going to a sexual health clinic in another city, because their wait list was only about 5 weeks. So I managed to do that. And ever since I've had it, I mean, the fitting itself is not very nice. But apart from that, I've had no problems with it whatsoever.
I think with the IUS coil, I think that long term, I probably will experience more positive side effects. But at the moment, unfortunately as well, it's been mostly negatives with my body trying to adjust to it, because it does work quite slowly. And I think that the side effects can really vary from person to person. So you won't know how you'll be affected by it until you get it.
A lot of people do have anxiety around having an intrauterine contraceptive fitted. And for the vast majority of people, having fit tens, if not at least 100 intrauterine contraceptives is fine. However, most people do experience a bit of cramping, and sometimes it can be worse or a bit more unpleasant for some people. There are some things you can do to make the experience slightly easier. So eating before the procedure so you don't feel lightheaded. Sometimes taking analgesia prior to the procedure. So just like simple paracetamol or ibuprofen before the procedure. And also, I know it's very easy for me to say, but trying to remain relaxed, because as you'll imagine, if you are tense, your pelvic floor muscles can also be very tense, and then it can be difficult to do the procedure. As for side effects, the main thing that a lot of people are concerned about is the bleeding pattern. Often people do use the intrauterine system because they want lighter periods. About at 1 year, between 20 to 25% of people will not have any bleeding or very, very light spotting. But before you get to that point, you can have lots of irregular bleeding for up to about 3 to 6 months. If that is a problem for yourself, you can use a combined hormonal contraceptive, like the oral contraceptive pill, to help regulate the bleeding, and see if that helps. For those that are worried about other hormonal side effects that you can get from the progestogen, so that's headaches, breast tenderness, and occasionally acne, there is now a lower dose intrauterine system called the Kyleena, and for some people that might be preferable.